forests cover just 10% of the land in Ireland, making it one of the least forested countries in Europe. The Normans and then the English estate owners felled most stands of oak to make way for farming and to build ships. But Ireland wants its forests back. Around the turn of the millennium, a program of reforestation was launched. Ash too was once common. The ancient Celts made implements out of ash wood. A few years ago, there were almost no ash trees left. And Ireland's national sport is partly to blame. Hurling is virtually unknown elsewhere in the world, but in Ireland, every village, neighbourhood and county has its own hurling team. The basics are simple. 2 teams of 15 players equipped with wooden sticks or hurleys aim to hit a small ball between the opponent's goalposts, either above or below the crossbar. It's a very fast-moving game.
Well, it's the same in England.
Oh, England is worse, I think. England's worse. England is...
It's also very ancient, dating back to the Celts. It's been played in Ireland for at least 2,000 years, perhaps even 3. Later, the English rulers banned the game for a while. But hurling was revived and again became very popular. The consequence of that was that countless ash trees were felled to make the sticks, until none were left. Since the reforestation began so recently, the newly planted ash trees are much too young to harvest, so ash wood is imported from England, Scandinavia and Poland. Jimmy Ryan is in his 80s and still remembers ash trees growing here in Ireland. He's a carpenter in Killinall, County Tipperary, and has been making hurleys for more than 40 years. He makes each one by hand. He's not deterred from crafting a fine product by the competition, cheap models from abroad. When he started, he was the only carpenter in the county to make hurleys. And he's only ever used one kind of wood.
Ash, the nature of ash is flexible. The nature of ash is that the grain runs long through the length of hurley. The nature of oak runs long, but the timber is too heavy. The nature of elm is it snaps. There's no long grain, but the texture and the flexibility of the ash as it runs in long. If a fella, one fella once compared a hurley, and he said that the grain in it was like your bootlaces. You could bend it and it would never break. But that was, going over the top.
Jimmy's grandchildren will soon be playing the game, as do his children, and as he himself did when he was younger. Many of Ireland's greatest players are his customers. They come from all over the country to visit his workshop and select a perfect new hurley. Jimmy also customizes his products.
Some lads like a heavy hurley, some lads like a light hurley. I think I'm at an advantage that I'm making hurleys by hand. Because if you come into me, I can make a hurley to suit any design you bring in. If I make hurleys by a machine, it's uniform the whole way through. No, end of story, it's uniform. But I can keep at it, as you said, you see me feeling it. Yeah, I keep at it until I'm comfortable with the hurley and satisfied.
It takes him about 20 minutes to make a hurley, and he sells them for €20 a piece. On average, they last just 3 months because they take a lot of thwacking in the high-energy, high-impact game. Jimmy wants to see hurleys made of Irish ash again, so that the most Irish of games will be truly rooted in the Irish soil. The felling of the forests without systematic replanting was a disaster for the country. Now the goals of forestry management are reforestation and sustainable harvesting.